So Auntieways.
So Auntieways.
So Auntieways.
Girl,
what's the tea?
So Auntieways.
Spark this shit up.
we're going to spark it up. We're going to spark it up. Welcome to So Auntieways. This is Shadiamond.
This is Miss Matinga.
And this, of course, is boobs.
Of course it is. And just to shake things up, we're going to start this episode with our crush segment. Booby, kick it off. Who you got?
My crush of the week is somebody that I've been watching every night. His name is Robert James Collier. I will share the screen and show him who he is.
Let's see him. Bring it on. Bring it forth. Bring it to the light, darling. Bring it to the light, Miss Honey. I think I just stepped in glass.
Oh, no.
Oh. I'm going to go with it. Okay, let's see your crush. Hey. Oh.
That is Barrow
goodness.
from Downton Abbey.
Yes. Wait, who? That is
This character.
That's Barrow.
That's
Wow, he looks so different.
that's the homosexual British dude on the show.
Mhm.
I love his.
That's
character.
that tea room queen.
His
Yeah,
character
another
is
good
so.
picture.
Honey,
Okay,
she gets
let's
caught in
see
a
it.
tea room and her life is almost destroyed. But
Trust
we've all
bitch.
been through that.
Oh, look at him.
He's
Mm.
fucking
Looking handsome.
Yeah,
Oh, that one. She's giving me a little Katie Lang right there.
she
What
could
about
be
this one?
evil.
Oh, crystal meth.
I know. You
I-
can say
I mean,
tweet.
Allegedly. Not even allegedly. I just said that. It's not true. He's a handsome dude.
Yeah.
Handsome dude. So, Booby, you are still in the midst of your Downton Abbey rewatch.
Yes.
Okay, interesting. So is our viewer, Raleigh,
Adam Rodriguez.
which I saw you posted on Facebook, Raleigh. Listeners, viewers who are not privy to the supporters only pre-show, let me just give you a little setup here. Right when we started taping, I had technical difficulties. We had some lateness issues, and I broke a glass right there on the floor, filled with my delicious 0-calorie beverage, which now I'm forced to drink straight out of the bottle.
Mhm.
Yes. Yeah. I say, listen, honestly, because this is, an extended family here.
We are family.
That if you need to take a moment and get some glass out of your foot, that you
Go
should step
for
off camera
Honey,
and take a moment. Like, don't sit here, honey. It's not for all of that. I do
Show
love the subtle
business.
shade, little
Show
subtle shade
business.
as well.
what's
Show
subtle
business.
shade?
Little subtle shade about the lateness, but that's okay, honey, because I was listening.
Well,
I was
I
samperizing.
I wasn't, and not just about you, perpetually late, Matinga.
Yes.
Also, the person that was supposed to be our guest, we'll leave that as a surprise for when they have a computer that was built sometime in the last 30 years, at least.
Oh my God,
Not
my
that
computer
fucking Commodore
is
64.
so old. No, actually, my computer was $1,400.
No,
when
honey, I
bought
was
it.
talking about her.
Oh my God,
And
Commodore
then showing up on the
64.
phone.
Trust, Miss, my computer I bought maybe 15
Girl, you
years
can't
ago.
live stream on a ColecoVision.
My,
I mean, I love her to death, but
my PC I bought about 15 years ago, and it's just my warhorse that I love, that I treated gently, but she's getting old. She's getting old. I just
know the
also want to.
feeling,
I just want to follow
darling.
through that. I asked some of the people in the room who were their crushes, and Tony R said
Oh.
Adam Rodriguez.
James
CMR said James Walk.
Who's James Woke?
Who's
But I
Adam
just want to say
Rodriguez?
that Miss Adam Rodriguez is a cutie pie. I didn't know who it was until he said, but that's Miss. It's gonna glare. But
Well,
maybe
can't
that's
see
Miss
it, but
Adam
I'll splice it
Rodriguez.
in later. So for those who are listening, we are looking at an image of a man on Matinga's Cricket phone.
This,
Ah.
honey, this is an iPhone 7.
I
thing,
can see it.
because
I
got
can
like
see
that.
it.
And this
Aren't
is
they
my-
up to like 13?
And yes, they are up to 13, and it plays games.
Learn it.
Oh, honey, I
This
think
is
you
a
play
working
games.
a working a Game Boy on the other side of it. So y'all can't take it. Y'all
No.
can't take up that.
Okay, you know,
So-
just shut everybody, just shut up, and just shut, darling. I think we need to do a little reset, okay, and come correct and get our heads in the game, honey. Okay, all right.
But wait, what happened to Maisel?
She was born like that, darling.
Is she out?
No,
Is she-
I said, look, girl, the technology, it ain't happening. See, it was my fault. Matinga, ignore the comments right now. See, it was my fault for not doing a tech rehearsal with Maisel beforehand. That was my bad.
Right. Especially considering that Mizell has actually tried to do our show while walking in the street and taking
Yeah.
a cab.
Getting a
So,
cab.
so there's precedence. There's precedence, Mama.
I
Yeah.
mean, it's my fault. It's me. It's on me. It's my fault. And but we'll get to her another time. And she did give me a comment to relay when we do our recap of Facts of Life towards the end. I will say something on Mizell's behalf.
Oh, beautiful.
So, yeah.
And
Also,
we'll bring
I
her
thi-
on some other time for sure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Of course, it has to be when Mizell is available, which means never on a Sunday and only between like 2 and 5 p.m. or after 8:30 p.m. New York time. Because, she's got a
Get married
schedule. She
later.
just ain't got headphones. All right.
Right.
Back to So Auntieways. What is that now? Why is God punishing me? What is that?
I don't know. I think you know what. Sometimes sometimes shit goes sideways, and you
Yeah.
gotta,
And we just roll with
you
the punches.
gotta, you gotta live.
If your
You
shit
gotta
goes
live.
sideways, you better see a proctologist. All right.
Hun.
So Miss Booby just shared his crush, who was that very handsome man that plays Thomas Barrow on Downton Abbey.
Yes.
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 What is the actor's name, Booby?
I forgot.
Okay.
Daniel something.
Ah, good enough. Matinga, who you crushing on, babe?
So you know what? I am going to take a little grab from our audience, and my pick today for crush is going to be Tony R's pick, Adam Rodriguez.
Okay. Who is
Adam
Adam
Rodriguez.
Rodriguez?
Adam Rodriguez is a Latin actor,
I'm
a cutie pie.
Mhm.
I also want to say that Raleigh said his crush is Mac Aarons,
We
and
will get to
Arturo's
the
is
comments.
Daniel Craig.
Can we please have some semblance of structure and order?
But Miss Thing, why start now? honey?
because that's how I function. Matinga.
Highly functioning.
Barely
Just
functioning.
barely, yeah. Miss Matinga, so are you saying that you did not have a crush picked out in advance?
Bitch, I didn't even watch the episode of Facts of Life. And I already told everybody in the room. And we were going to lie to you. But you are having such a hard day that I was like, let me just fess up with Miss Honey.
My girls. All right, well, as long as we're fessing up, I don't
Yeah.
exactly have a crush either.
Okay.
What I have is a preemptive crush.
Oh.
So what I have done is selected what I think is going to be my crush. So, okay, here's the deal. This weekend where I am, they're having a lumberjack festival
Oh.
Ooh.
because that's how I roll. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Uh,
how they roll too.
So, honey, I'm gonna put on my best maple syrup flavored cologne. Okay. And I'm gonna go down and I'm gonna snatch me a lumberjack. So what I did was I pulled up some pictures from previous years, and I
Did
think
you
this
say
is
Mabel syrup?
my new drag name.
You knew
Mabel
Mabel
King.
syrup?
So this is a taste
Mabel
of what
King cologne?
what could be in store. Get into it. Look at him.
Yeah.
Look at him making the
He looks
chips
like a-
fly.
He looks like a white man. We have
Making the
nothing
chips
against them.
fly. Making the chips fly, darling. It's a lumberjack, darling. How do I
He
get
does
to-
have nice arms.
He do. Is
He's
there
got
another
nice
one?
arms.
I
And
don't
rosy
know.
cheeks.
And oh, honey, I know he got rosy cheeks. Beach.
That's been
How
my
about
new
this
drag
one?
name is Rosie Cheeks.
Rosy cheeks.
I mean,
Honey.
look at the violent energy. Look at the violent energy, bitch. Splitting that wood, hoodie.
Hoodie. Hoodie.
Hoodie, look at that
H-U-D-D-Y.
violent,
Hoodie.
the violent energy. Y'all ain't feeling the violent energy?
I'm not feeling too much energy, Mama.
Even though I'm
I
having a
don't
preemptive
know.
crush. Look,
I
look
could
at,
see it.
look at swing, bitch. Swing.
Is that it? Is that the only picture? I mean, honey, there must be lumberjacks out there. You
Did
know,
I only show one
that's the-
picture?
that's only
Yes.
one picture. Yeah.
I'm a fucking idiot. I thought I
You're-
brought up 4 different pictures. I'm gonna splice this in later, honey. I'm gonna make magic with the use of technology.
Magic.
But-
Well, let's hope somebody makes magic today, because ain't no magic happened yet.
Kill me. Okay,
now.
so
I
what do you
like that
guys
hat.
think? Mine?
Yeah.
She looks very kind of like iridescent, right?
Yeah. There's different
all kinds
colors
of-
up in there.
All kinds of colors and shit. Because
Mhm.
I'm all about honey. Colors make the world go round, baby.
Yeah.
Oh, So, guys,
I was shaving. I shaved and washed my face and forgot all. And knew I had to do a show, but forgot like everything I had to do for the show. And you know
Okay.
what?
It
You know what?
happens.
And do you know what you call that? You call that diva behavior. Okay, and that's what I am.
A
Okay.
diva?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you have time to have your energy drink?
Actually, I have not, but I will.
You mean with those extra minutes you took not showing up on time, you couldn't even drink that?
I was in the room 4 minutes in, bitch. 4 minutes is an entire sexual
Escapade.
escapade for me, honey.
Speaking
So-
of Janet Jackson.
Yeah, so I think I
So-
did pretty good.
Okay, I want to backtrack for a second. As long as we're going to be messy, let's be messy. Miss Matenga, this crush, this Adam Rodriguez crush.
Yeah,
I do
you
not know
wanna
who. I actually don't know who that is. Tell me who that is, and I'll
So
splice in a picture later.
So, Tony, tell me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure Adam Rodriguez was in CSI. That is the show, and he's just a fly Latino actor. So, thank you, Tony. You chose my crush for the, and you know what? I'm gonna say Tony's my crush too.
Yeah.
Okay. Tony's my
Yeah.
crush as well.
Yeah, good old Tony. Good old Trek Tony.
Trek
Mhm.
Tony, honey.
Good old
Trek
Trek Tony.
Tony.
Tretoni. Miss Tretoni. Oh, darling.
Yes.
Well, I. have
Let's get
lost-
super
Woo!
messy and let's get super messy and call up Bobby Linda and have
Well,
her on the show. She'll
if-
do it.
She
She
might
will
be.
do it.
She might be in this room, girl. And
Let's call her
and
Miss Bobby
in
Linda.
point of fact, Miss Bobby Linda coming to visit me next week, girl.
Oh, how
Oh,
lovely.
really?
Yep. Yep, bitch. I was talking to her on the phone yesterday. So I had to drive a friend to the hospital for some kind of open heart procedure. So while I was killing time in the parking lot, I called Miss Bobby Linda. You know, we're discussing. She's coming this way. She's like, "Do you want to do something like, go horseback riding?" I'm like, "Have you ever met me, bitch? I'm not getting on a horse. No."
No, honey, she meant riding you around the living room.
Oh, is that what you meant, darling? Like I'm some kind of pony.
Yes. Why, yes.
What are we doing? This may be a supporters only episode from beginning to end. Or not.
I think
Let's-
it's going swimmingly. You know what? I think it's got a wacky energy.
Mhm.
That's we've also been shooting all day, and we are wacky at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, so before we did this, we did
Yeah.
an episode of Fire Chicote. And for those listening, just let it be known that there are episodes are coming, and we're doing season 7 kind of out of order for reasons.
Yes.
So,
yes,
but-
for
but they-
reasons.
For good reasons.
This
good
last,
reasons.
Yes, this season I'm not going to tell you what's coming up, but there are some really cute surprises coming
Mhm.
your way. Not just one, but a couple, and like some really good gets, guys. Like
Yeah,
it's-
I
gonna
think we
be
got
cute.
Miss Mizell.
we got Mizell.
What?
We got Harley
Kiki D?
refused. I mean, we got Miss Kiki D.
And you know what's killing me? I bet you Mizell isn't even watching this. She probably just went on with her day.
Oh,
Yeah.
honey, I don't think Mizell has ever watched anything we ever. First of all, our friends don't watch our shit.
Ever.
Our friends don't watch our shit, like because they've been watching this act for 30 years.
And it ain't getting fresher. I mean, we keeping it fresh and tasty. Let me get my little notebook. Hang on, guys. I'm sorry. Make a note to myself. Call Miss Mizell with anger in my voice.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's talk about what we are featuring. Who would like to kick that off?
Booby, go on.
Well, I'm featuring a show that you, Shadiman, told me about. I've only seen one episode, but I really, really like it. Squid Games.
Squid Game. Squid the Game, as it is.
Oh,
known.
one Squid Game, not plural.
No, I kept calling it Squid Games. There's only one Squid the Game.
A Squid the Game.
A Squid Game.
The most successful show
On Netflix.
ever, not just currently, but ever on Netflix.
Yeah.
And I think it's very interesting that it is a show. It's not dubbed; it's subtitled. It's a
You
Korean
can
show.
you can also have it dubbed. They also have a dub track.
Yeah, but I do not watch the
No,
dub
neither do I.
because I think it kills the performances of the actors.
Mhm.
I much prefer to watch the performance of the actors and read the subtitles. But I just think that that's really lovely because I think that America, I mean, we don't take in a lot of entertainment from around the world. Where some of us are watching Almodovar, and some of us are watching a little bit of German cinema, but we're basically watching our own stuff.
Right.
And then the world watches our stuff.
Right.
They watch ours, but they also watch their stuff. And there's really great stuff being created all over the world. Squid Game is one of those things.
Yes, I agree.
So, well, I think that's, America for so long was the entertainment juggernaut
Capital.
of the planet. Yeah. Never mind that Bollywood has its own thing going on.
Right.
Oh, and let me tell you, I love me some Bollywood, particularly the music. I love Bollywood. And there's another
Old Navy has a new commercial with the comedian from Saturday Night Live, full-figured girl, and it's a full-figured girl doing Bollywood.
80 Bryant.
Yes.
She's amazing.
Any relation to Lane Bryant?
There's
Which is a plus-size women's store.
No. That we
All
should
right.
not
Took us
make.
a second.
I also want to say that there is a music called Bhangra from India that it's kind of like a house music. It's like kind of like and honey, it is fierce.
They carry.
Bhangra.
Bhangra. So, Miss Booby, you watched one episode of Squid Game.
Yeah.
Your thoughts so far?
Really intriguing. Very Hunger Games.
Very battle royale.
Very battle royale. Shady.
Very shady. I think they're very shady.
I think they're very shady. These people had no idea they were going to give up their lives for these coins.
Right. Didn't we have this chat last night? Would you do it?
No.
The Squid Game? Absolutely not.
Did I hallucinate?
I would definitely not.
Did I hallucinate that conversation?
Yes.
Oh, God. Because I fully remember telling you I would have slapped that bitch in the subway. I would have slapped her.
Oh, yeah. We did talk about that.
Who's tripping now, Booby?
Apparently, this Squid Game is really big in Korea as well, but they're a little embarrassed by it because it is exposing a thing about their culture, whereas there is a lot of poverty in that country, and there's a lot of people caught up in great credit card debt, and a lot of these people get into the Squid Game because the prize money is so high. Right. They just on the outset they don't know what the consequences are, but that is part of Korea. Like there is great poverty and suffering, and so they're a little like, oh, it's sort of exposed this about our culture. But honey, like I'm sitting here up in Brooklyn poor as shit, but I'm fab.
Right.
But I'm here.
But I'm here. Barely, but I'm here.
I mean, inequality is everywhere, of course. It is getting more severe, and I think people are paying more attention to it, which is good. But I think, like I said on a previous thing that we did, the Squid Game is kind of like Parasite in that it's about class distinction and class warfare. I also think Squid Game is maybe part of that push for Korean entertainment to go global, like K-pop. What's that? BTS? And
I think
Korean
BTS
beauty, the beauty industry in Korea is like insane.
Japanese and Korean beauty is the bomb. I'd be watching like that stuff on YouTube, but but it's K-pop, J-pop as well is huge, and I love me some K-pop and some J-pop. I live.
Is it like special K-pop?
If only, honey.
Do you think there's going to be some kind of tentacle porn called Squid Games?
Oh,
I'm waiting for that. There is that very famous short little clip of the frozen octopus, the huge frozen octopus, and she's pushing it out of her
giving
JJ,
it a good octopus,
and it is so fucking hot.
It's nasty.
It's disgusting. But but everyone has seen that famous clip. That clip is right up there with Mason Jar.
Yeah, and it's a good idea, Matinga, that you did not show your face, because that would have been outrageous.
God, because once you've done Fico Japanese, it's all downhill.
I think I'm Fico Japanese.
Yeah, it's all downhill.
I really think so. So let me tell you what I'm featuring, but I'm going to preface it with something I'm not featuring, which is me spilling all that beverage, because what I am featuring is now covered in 0-calorie coconut soda. It is this book, Second Act by Joan Collins.
Oh, wow.
It is covered in liquid. You see that liquid? That's not her.
Yeah.
She's not that dewy. Now, the reason I selected this book, aside from the fact that we all know we love Miss Joan Collins, this book was recommended by Mizell. So as a special treat, I was going to blow her mind and be like, bitch, I got that book that you suggested.
Right.
But she's not here.
Her
So
mind ain't
instead,
blown.
I will
Second
just-
act, Joan Collins.
I will just read a description of. You remember when Joan was sued by Random House for
Yes.
her publishing drama? This is her
Yes.
description. This is her description of her former editor, Joni Evans. This bottle blonde on the stand with her leathery orange skin attempted a weak smile in my direction, then started ripping my novels to shreds. I love that description because Joan is not holding back. So I'm
No.
excited to keep reading.
Is that an
Second act.
autobiography or is it like a
Yeah.
picture book?
There's no pictures in it. I was so disappointed. It was the first thing I looked for.
Because Joan is so visual. There's another story
Very visual, darling.
that I'd like to share about when she was sued. So she was writing these cheesy books, a la her sister
Jackie.
Jackie,
Jack.
but she could never come for Jack. She could never come for Jackie. Never. But her books are successful, right? And then she was sued by her publisher, for millions. They were trying to destroy her.
Yeah.
And I was watching an autobiography of her on television, and there was just this incredible part where, there was cameras in the courtroom. And she came in very meek. She came in as Joan Collins. Because what people don't realize is that Joan Collins is not this stark raving bitch diva that she portrays
In Dynasty.
on Dynasty. She is a stark raving bitch diva that is like a real person. Like, she's not always trying to play up the fantasy of what she is. She's an actress. So she came into the courtroom as Joan Collins, who's kind of quiet, she's kind of meek, and it wasn't going well. Like the attorneys were like lacing into her. And so afterwards, she spoke to her attorney, afterward for the next day. And he said, honey, you've got to come in as Alexis Carrington.
Right.
That not only is that what they are expecting, that's the energy
That's
that
going to
you
win you
need,
the case.
that's going to win you this case.
Mhm.
And because she's such a fine actor, it's you can see it. There's video of it. She comes in as that bitch diva fighting for her rights, and oh no, you did, and it is so fierce, and she won that case.
Yes,
Yeah.
And
she
I
did.
just fucking love that. I love
Yeah.
that.
That's
You
kind
know-
of where this book starts, with her in court and having that turnaround, going into court as Alexis.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
Mm-hmm.
So good, because you know that her, like the way she walks onto Dynasty, the very first time that you see her is her walking into a courtroom. So that's what people were waiting for. The very first time you ever see Alexis, she has that giant hat, and like she just raises her head, and it's like this stunning, beautiful woman in her
Fantastic.
late 40s.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that's what she gave them, darling.
That's
and
what
she
and it won. And it
And
won.
it won. I
Yeah.
love that. I love that.
So that is what I am featuring.
Fabulous.
Second act by Joan Collins, darling.
I'm gonna
Yes.
get that, honey.
Miss Matinga, what are you featuring this week?
So I am featuring, and I actually want to ask you specifically, Michael, because it's always warm by Miss Booby. I am featuring The Fall. I just love it. The days have gone very temperate here in New York City. Today it happens to be 80 degrees in New York City, by the way. It's quite warm.
Wow.
But the days have gone quite temperate. The evenings are chilly to cold, but still kind of lovely. It's sweater weather.
It is. Yeah.
And I just love the fall. You can break out your little sweater sets and your cute khakis, and you can feel very office cunt. And and I just so I'm featuring the fall. I'm really loving it. The weather has New York for just a few short weeks just turns beautiful.
Yes. I agree. I'm a couple of hours away from you, but it is getting there here as well. Probably a little further along. It's actually chillier here. The leaves
But
are orange.
the
they're
leaves turn
falling.
beautiful. Yeah.
Honey, yeah. I love
Apple
it.
picking.
What you call me?
You apple picking, Ninny.
I don't. Boo.
Boo.
I don't pick apples and I don't ride horses.
Ninny.
Ninny. Mm, mm. I love the fall. I absolutely love it. I'm not crazy about Halloween, but I do love the fall. It is probably the last week when I can have my plants outside, which is sad for me. And
But the thing is, though, is you've got a lovely space.
right,
And then there's also that place where you keep your plants.
exactly. Yeah.
But the thing is, your lovely space will be completely taken over by those plants. Like, because you have
Oh,
so
it
many,
is.
you've got so many plants on the lanai
Yeah.
that like your place is
Girl.
going to be, well, it's going to be a jungle.
I'm gonna make a confession. Okay, I got a problem.
Yeah.
So when I took
Just one.
when I took my friend to go get his open heart procedure, or whatever it was, I had all this time to kill. So I went. We were in some town. I don't even know, some standard town, and they had like a like a Lowe's and a Home Depot and whatever. So I went to Lowe's and I found a plant that I had once that I bought on a trip to Miami, Miss Booby. A Spathiphyllum domino, which is a variegated peace lily. Do I need this plant? No.
Peace
Is it
lily.
peace lily? Bum, bum, bum. The junior mix.
The junior mix of peace lily.
And so I don't need this plant. Can I find this plant again? It's unusual, but not super rare. I bought it.
Oh my God.
And this morning I got up and I divided that plant and I turned it into 4 because
Wow.
I'm out of my fucking mind.
Now, is this the same plant that you said you came into the city to run some errands, which is a huge trek for you?
No, that's a different one.
And then in the 30s somewhere, you found this incredibly rare plant.
Mhm.
That's a different. So tell me about that plant.
So that is philodendron brandy.
Ooh.
It's philodendron like brandiantum or something, which I also had once.
And
But
that
so,
philodendron, is it sitting up in your room?
honey, the main one is outside, but don't you know, I made a bunch of cuttings, bitch. I got like 5 of them growing in perlite. I got 5 of them growing in water. And I
Damn.
got 5 of them growing in soil, bitch. And the mother plant. Why am I doing this?
Obsessed much?
Do you have time to like rid
Obsessed
yourself
much?
of many of them before winter sets in?
I'm going to end up giving them away, of course.
Right.
You know, Miss Matenga, your mother's probably going to end up with 2 of them. You know,
Listen,
she'll keep them
Miss
alive.
Carmija, and she will keep them alive. Oh, by the
Yeah.
way, I want to say I know nothing about plants, but the 3 of the plants that you gave me last year, or over a year ago, they're still alive. Not only alive, they are thriving. A beautiful, just absolutely stunningly beautiful terrarium that you made for me in this gigantic mason type jar.
Yeah.
And it's like I have to actually cut it down.
Wow.
Because it's this thriving jungle, and then the other one that looks like a little tree, which I
Yes.
love. I love that plant, by the way, and it's such a hardy little plant. And then the weird little succulent that like literally like that's how it's funny. Like I never was into plants, but then after you gave me those plants, I was like, oh shit, plants are alive. I mean, I knew plants were alive, but like the one plant didn't like the way it was situated and decided to move itself toward the sunlight and actually left the pot and crawled down the pot and across the table and then and found the sun.
Yeah.
Like
Wow.
that is life.
Yeah.
Like Susan Hayward,
That's
honey, they want to
life.
live.
Yeah, and I was like, wow. And now it's like kind of like in this weird, but it's thriving. They're all thriving.
I think that's called heliotropism when they look for the sun. What do I know?
Yeah.
But speaking of plants, I'm reading this other book. Oh my God, this one got wet too. It's called Seed to Dust. Seed. To
I saw
Dust.
that movie.
And
But
that's
that's a
your
porn.
your autobiography, Seed to Dust.
Honey, I'm a seed on dust. Shit. Anyway, nature's lovely. And speaking of your terrarium, there's a
I love
plant-
my terrarium.
I'm actually going to ask you for a cutting of something in there, and I'll direct you to exactly what it is because my version of it died, so I'm going to get it back from you.
Yeah,
'Cause
I had
it's
to literally
the circle of life, darling.
I had to cut it down twice, or else it starts to curl in on itself at the top of
Right.
the terrarium, and
Yes.
I'm afraid it'll strangle itself.
Yes, girl, life, darling.
Plants.
Life.
Miss
Plants
Booby, your
and life.
husband's into plants, darling.
Oh,
Miss
yes,
Booby.
he is. Oh,
He's
yes,
wonderful
he is.
too.
He's
Yeah.
got the green thumb. We've got plants filling the house, and of course, tons of plants outside.
He's a hard worker, honey.
Yeah.
Your yard is big, and he's got in the hot sun.
Yeah. Yeah, he toils out there.
Yeah.
And I think that brings us to the segment we like to call Just the Facts.
Yes.
Remember that episode of Facts of Life when Mrs. Garrett got caught stealing?
This is where we talk about an episode of the classic 1980 sitcom, The Facts of Life.
Which I know what happened on because I watched the 15 minutes of it and then I read the Wikipedia page.
Oh,
So I
Good
know what
enough.
happened.
Good enough.
good enough. Good
So
enough.
I can talk about it.
So today we are talking about an episode called New York, New York.
Is
Yes,
that what it was
which-
called?
I thought it was called. What did you think it was called, Boo?
Body and Soul.
I thought it was called Stargazer.
Oh,
This is cursed. This entire day is cursed. No. Booby, Body and Soul was the episode of Fire Chakotay we just did.
Right.
Matinga, Stargazer's the name of the person that uploaded that episode that we watched.
Yes,
Facts of
yes.
Life. Okay. It's
Yes.
called New York, New York from season 3 of The
Yes.
Facts of Life.
And
Fabulous.
as the episode opens up, it would seem that half of the girls are going on a ski trip. Nat and Tootie and Mrs. Garrett and those, and then but Joe and Blair are headed into Manhattan for to spend the weekend, not with each other, but to spend a weekend in Manhattan with former friends.
Well, actually, I think that the episode is about cocaine abuse because when it opens, Mrs. Garrett's like, bumps to the left of me, bumps to
Bumps
the right,
to the
of,
right
me.
of me.
Into the valley of powder we go.
Bumps to the left of me, bumps to the right of me, into the valley of powder we go.
And Tootie's like, ooh, bitch, I can't wait to hit the slopes. Right?
it's snowing.
It's snowing.
Yeah.
But so, yes, you are correct. Some of them are going skiing, and Joe and Blair are going to New York to hang out with their old buddies.
And like I said, I watched like about 15 to 17 minutes of it. And I do want to say they get to Grand Central Station and they're like, oh, you know, we're here in the big city. We're here at Grand Central Station. It is the same exact diner from the
As
last episode.
I know.
But somehow now this diner isn't on the street. It's inside Grand Central Station. But it is the exact same diner. Like
Yeah.
the gall. The gall.
I'm like, where's Christy?
Right.
Where's
right.
Christy?
Wait, the cashier now is where the pay telephone was.
Where's
in the last-
Bernice?
Exactly.
Also, Blair is gagging because there's a magazine rack. Do they not have magazines in Peekskill?
Evidently not.
And also, so it's like, so this little seedy little diner is going to have Italian Vogue. Like it might have regular Vogue, but it's not going to have Italian Vogue. And then Joe says it has some truck magazine. And I'm like, honey, where's the Playgirl? Where's the
Right.
play guy? Where's the porn? It would definitely have porn.
In Grand Central, you know
In
it.
Grand Central at that time, honey,
Right.
where's the dirt porn?
Well, you know, Joe had that copy of, Dirt Bike Weekly, but inside of it, she had Penthouse. And she was like,
Well,
ooh.
Honey, it was that copy of Dirt Dyke Weekly.
Oh, hey.
Dirt Dyke.
Dirt Dyke Weekly? Girl. So, yeah,
Yeah.
they're there to meet their friends. And the first one to arrive at Christie's Diner is Blair's friend,
Becker.
Dina Becker.
Dina.
Becker.
Warner
Becker. Warner.
Who is like the most obnoxious,
Ugh.
snobby,
Fur wearing.
fur wearing, and not
Fur
rabbit fur
wearing.
like Christy.
Yeah.
That was real. She's like this rich bitch, your typical early 80s New York rich bitch.
Yeah.
Right.
Very superficial, very kind of helpless. But they're just like giving each other air kisses while Joe gives them the Bronx stink eye in the background.
Yeah.
And also like those two girls dressed to the nines, but honey, the only one truly serving face, I think, is Joe. Blair is quite beautiful, yes, but I think Joe is just serving both of them face.
She's gorgeous. And Blair
gorgeous.
compliments her friend on something, and Becker's like, oh, but I would die for that hair. So Blair flings her hair at her friend, which I thought was a really funny little touch. And so then Joe's friend comes.
Pinky Tuscadero, Leather Tuscadero.
Leather Tuscadero.
Yeah.
Jesse
Meets Joan Jett.
Jesse
meets
Joan
Joan
Jett.
Jett with a
Yeah.
thick New York accent, 5'1", kind of like almost more like the real deal. Like Joe does look a little soft next to her.
Leather, who isn't Susie Quattro. It's actually her Joe's friend. Leather's wearing a leather jacket, and Joe always wears that like
That
navy
pea coat.
that pea coat.
Right.
Which, by the way, like it's because of the facts of life that I have always loved a pea coat. Like I fucking love a pea coat. And she's always wearing that pea coat.
Yes, and so there we have these 4 girls, 2 poor girls, 2 rich girls.
They couldn't be more different.
And they interact, but it gets snarky kind of fast.
Honestly, this one is right out of the Sweat Hogs. You're asking for it, Barbie doll. Why don't you turn blue? That's telling her, Dina.
But that, honey, that rich little white girl didn't know. Like she could get slapped. You know.
Oh, I think they threatened to slap her.
And I also kind of feel like both Blair and Joe should have controlled their friends better. Hey, I know they're cheesy, blah, blah, blah. She's my friend at school. Let's be cool. Particularly Blair, because Blair's friend is being a little bitch.
Snobby.
She's being a snobby little bitch.
Well, because
And
she
she's
says
like-
to Blair, where would someone like you even know someone like her?
Yeah, like out of the blue. She I mean, just belittles her and condescending.
Although some of the references were kind of dated. I think it was Jesse that said, what is this, a Farrah Fawcett convention?
And then they said something about Welcome Back, Kotter.
Oh, sweat hogs.
She
called her a sweat hog.
She called them sweat
But
hogs.
honey, that was
yes.
a read, honey. Trust.
Yeah.
At the time. Right. All right.
And what is the
Boom,
read that the
Washington.
sweat hog say?
Oh, sit on it?
Up
Or is
your
that
nose
Happy
with the
Days?
rubber hose? Or...
Up your nose with a rubber hose. Sit on it. No, that was Happy Days.
That was
Isn't it
Happy
funny
Days.
that Happy Days had sit on it?
What does that mean exactly?
Honey,
I
it means,
wonder.
Honey, sit on something.
Sit on
Sit
it.
on it.
Is that like go suck an egg? Isn't that like from another 80s thing? Go suck an egg.
Go suck an egg.
I don't know. The
I wanna
reads were
bring
a
back-
little weak.
They were weird.
Yeah.
I want to bring back. Remember in the 80s, it was all like fucking A, dude.
And
That was really fucking A, dude.
Fucking O, it's easier.
Fucking
Ooh.
O, it's easier.
That's the kind of trade I'm going to find at that lumberjack festival, bitch.
That's
Yes.
right.
Fucking
That's
A,
right, that's
honey.
right.
That's right. That's right. What is that from?
I don't know.
That's right. That's right. That's your unfortunate tune that never went anywhere. That you wrote, that you sent to every major DJ that we know, Merritt, Vaughn Allure. You sent it to famous DJs that we know,
What
and it was
track is that?
summarily. That's right. That's right.
That's right.
That
that's
song
right.
that you wrote. That you're like,
But,
oh, this song
but
is
that
so
never
hot.
came out. The one that never came out.
Yeah, because they all sent it back to you, going, no, that's wrong, honey.
That's wrong. That's wrong.
That's wrong.
I don't remember.
Wow.
I don't understand the question, and I won't respond to it. So they go along their separate ways.
Yes.
Joe and Jesse go to Fort Apache, the Bronx,
Right.
and Blair and Dina go to, I'm assuming, the Upper East Side.
The Upper East Side, yeah.
And we visit with Blair and Joe first.
No, Blair and
Oh, Blair and
Dina.
Barbie. But Blair
Yeah.
and Dina. Right, yes.
And they've just come back from shopping, and they are going to host a little get-together for their friends.
Right.
And the maid has maybe broken a tooth or something.
Hildy.
Hildy has had a medical emergency and had to leave to attend to this. You know, it was a real medical emergency.
Mm-hmm.
What am I supposed to do now? I've got our whole crowd coming over for luncheon and positively nothing to serve. Honestly, the selfishness of some people.
And Dina is being so self-centered
Yeah.
and selfish and helpless because even though Miss Blair is stuck up a little bit and she's, you know, a rich bitch, but you know, she's, you know, all those girls of Facts of Life, just to stay in school, had to learn how to work in those kitchens and mop those floors.
That's
And
right.
be responsible and cook. And Blair's like, honey, let's make a little tuna. We could make some snacks with it.
Right.
And you know, and Miss Dina is
Oh.
like, cook?
Yeah.
Me?
Blair,
Kitchen?
she refers
Exactly.
to tuna as welfare sturgeon,
Oh,
Right.
which I thought was actually pretty funny.
That
Yeah.
is funny. Yeah.
Yeah, but also Blair cannot make tuna salad. Did you see how much mayonnaise she put in?
Mayonnaise? That was disgusting.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
put
The
the whole
audience
fucking
gagged.
jar.
you know, she would have served something. I'm not sure she would have served something good, but she
Yeah.
would have. But you know what? The thing was, she, you know, she rolled up her sleeves,
Right.
and that shows growth from Blair, right? It
Big
shows
time.
like that Blair isn't quite as helpless and as hopeless as she used to be, and so it shows that, you know what, sometimes a little hard work and a little bit of taking your punishment the way you have to, like, actually gave her a stiffer back. It made her a better person.
Well, when Blair says, you know, all we need is tuna and mayo and something crunchy, and Dina's like, diamonds. I was like, yeah.
Diamonds.
I started to feel for Dina. Do you know why?
Diamonds.
If I could have that life, I'd want it. I don't want to cook nothing. Why do something if you don't have to? I get
No,
where she's coming from.
You don't cook nothing. You just like heat up shit from Trader Joe's.
That is not true. I boiled eggs, and there's a video to prove it on Instagram. Don't come for me, mama.
Don't come for your eggs.
Don't come for my eggs, bitch. So I get where Dina's coming from. If you're rich and you got it like that, yeah. Although she is being a cunt, and she does. Oh, excuse me. And she does.
Yeah.
She reads Miss Hildy, the housekeeper, when she comes back.
Yeah.
Like
And
in
so-
a
and the-
vicious
Which
way.
bothers Blair.
Where have you been?
I'm sorry, I had a bad tooth.
I know that. And you know that we are expecting guests.
And the thing is, Miss Hildy, being the responsible professional that she is, had cooked all the food already. It was chilling in the fridge. And even
Right.
after Dina finds that out, she still dresses Hildy down.
In the future, could you please take better care of your teeth so that this doesn't happen again?
And what it shows is that the smaller person is Dina. That you know, that Dina is just this stuck up,
Selfish.
selfish bitch
Mm.
who thinks that, like, just because I pay you a salary doesn't mean that I'm your slave, you know?
Right.
And like, you know what? Listen, if you get hurt on the job, you gotta go and fix yourself up. You know, it just didn't show any. It showed that Hildy had no compassion, but also
That
had,
Dina
like,
had no compassion.
right, that Dina had no compassion.
Right, because you know what? Miss Hildy could have spat her damn tooth in the tuna salad and been done with it. Like, eat that, bitch. Which is what I would have done if I knew how
Yeah.
to make tuna.
If you knew
Yeah.
how to make tuna.
But I
And
don't. And
Meanwhile, by Hunt's Point in the Bronx,
before we go to the hookers at the point, Dina thinks that the school, Eastland, is trash. They'll let anybody in, and
Right.
it's turning Blair into
A softie.
a
a
softie and
commoner.
a commoner, a skank.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A pro. Yeah.
But I think that Blair understands on some level. I'm just showing a little compassion, and I can get shit done. Like, she
Right.
realizes that she's growing.
Oh boy, she growing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
true.
And so now we're in Hunts Point, by Hunts Point in the Bronx, and they're at a rec center with Miss Joe and her friend.
Right. Jesse. They're playing foosball.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who plays foosball in the Bronx?
Also, why are they at a rec center? They don't have better things to do.
Maybe that's what they do in the
Maybe,
Bronx.
yeah.
I
Well,
guess.
In that part.
and that part. And
That's not what I did in the Bronx.
Let's back up for 1 second. When the girls met up in the diner, Jesse said some really super racist things about some Asian people that were in.
Yeah. I
She's like,
thought
what
I
is this? The
I
cast
thought I
of
was hearing
Shogun?
wrong.
Hey! Watch it.
Both people. So you can't turn around without bumping into half the cast of Shogun.
I was like, no, honey, you better Kenichi work. That is not appropriate, darling.
No.
Not a,
Yeah.
So we already know that Jesse's a little bit of a xenophobe and a racist. Okay.
Right.
So they're in the rec center, and first Jesse goes off on some old man that drops a checker or a chess piece,
Right.
right?
Checker.
But like real aggressively. And then
Doesn't she go into his race?
no, she just calls him old. She goes off on the Hispanic people
On the
that are
Hispanics?
painting a
Painting the
mural.
mural.
Yeah.
But like she goes in on them.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, you gotta learn Spanish, and I was here first, and ew.
Yeah.
But what it is she doesn't show compassion to the old guy who's dropped something, and then she's like being all racist, and then she's about to deface this mural because they they got to
That's what
learn
they
our,
do.
and it's all those it's all those buzzwords. They got to learn English. Why do they have to move into our neighborhood?
Why is
I'd
it
rather
always
they-
Taco Tuesday?
What they got to learn our language, blah 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 blah. And Joe, she's chilling, but she's also kind of like, hey, like, show this old guy some compassion. Hey, this is a beautiful mural. Why are you about to deface it?
It's a nice painting, Jesse. Look at it.
Yeah.
Actually, the mural was kind of meh.
Right.
Yeah.
But it was the work involved.
And so
Right.
Jessie gets pissed and she's like, that school's making you soft. And, you want to hang out here and sing La Cucaracha all night because you ain't going to spend it with me.
That's great. You take their side. Well, you know what? You can spend the rest of your weekend singing La Cucaracha with them because you ain't spending it with me.
And
Or
she
something.
kind of, but then she
Is that
kind of
basically
like,
what she says?
they get into an argument, and but then she's like, listen, we gotta be home before sundown.
You better take
Right.
that conga line somewhere else because you're not going to
Because-
make no money.
Exactly, because bad things happen here at night. And,
Puerto Rican girls
you know,
cannot have blunt ambition.
That's right. That's right.
Bitch,
Not
we don't sell
blonde
cantaloupes
ambition.
out here. Yeah.
We're selling pussy.
Grade A USDA pussy. And your mama ain't got none.
Ooh, she went and got her teeth done. She looked like a goddamn horse.
Nong, nong, nong. Bitch. So,
Would
You mean hookers?
And so then, that scene ends, and we end up back in the diner as Blair and Joe meet up to head back to Eastland. They're both really, really sad. And I think what this episode was trying to say is that both of them, they hadn't changed as people. They had just grown as individuals, and they had, they realized that they weren't the same people that had left these places before. Maybe they're a little bit more compassionate, a little
Right.
bit more hardworking. Maybe they have, a stronger sense of self now, and they have left these people behind. Not that they
Right.
don't like them anymore, but they are no longer like these people. They have grown as individuals.
and their own friendship is stronger.
And they're French, and they're like, hey, I can't wait to get back to Easton. They're like, yeah, I can't wait to get back to school.
And
they
this is where
realize-
their romance really kicks off.
and this is where it starts, honey, and it's
Honey,
a lick fest
Lick, lick, lick it. Honey,
from
what's
here
your
on
fantasy?
out, honey.
Lick, lick you from your head to your toes. And I won't
Pull
know
your wings when your eyes Chinese, honey.
what. But I do have a question, though. The fact that Blair and Joe were friends with these people to begin with. Do you know what I mean?
well,
Like,
they were different people when they were
Mm.
really good friends with them. They were like them before
yes,
the Eastland changed them, or their
Yes.
experience changed
their
them.
experience. Well,
but,
yes.
but it shows that like that Eastland, as well as the friendship between all the girls, not just Blair and Joe, but
Right.
between all the girls, subtly shifted all of the girls, turned them
Right.
into a family, made them responsible to each
I
other,
thought you were going
and
to say
made them-
suddenly, Susan.
and suddenly made them better people as
right.
well.
Yes.
They
Yes.
just better people.
And so Blair and Joe exit Christie's diner to go join Mrs. Garrett and Natalie and Tootie at the Coke party at the ski lodge.
Ah,
Hello,
Boom, New York from season 3 of Facts of Life.
New York, New York, a hell of a town. Although
Yes.
they don't make New York look like a hell of a town, I must say.
We saw the inside of a rec center and Hildy's
diner.
kitchen, and
And
the
a
diner
tired diner.
and a tired Upper East Side apartment with some lovely plants in the background. I did notice. Yes, I like this episode. I thought it was fun, and I thought the guest stars were good. Dina and Jesse were both effective at what they had to do.
Yes.
Yeah, the actress that played Jessie, believe it or not, had a very weird, unfortunate end.
Really?
So she was also in Little Darlings and some TV movie about a Christmas tree. Oh, I think she has a small part in Pretty in Pink. She died when she was 23. That actress.
Wow.
Yeah, her name is Alexa Keenan.
that's so
Wow.
sad.
Yeah.
Somebody I was reading just died, and she was 22. A musician, a female rapper or singer just died. She was only 22, and they don't know what the cause of the death is yet.
Oh.
Although it's probably droga.
Well, I hope it wasn't La Cucaracha.
But you know
Honey.
what? But that's the thing. Like, like you have to hit each day like it's your last.
Yeah.
And happiness can be a choice, there's also depression out there, but happiness can be a choice. You can choose to be miserable and dial up the pain, or you can choose to like head out and enjoy your day.
Exactly.
The three of us here have known a lot of 20 to 25-year-old guys that passed away. Many.
This is the comedy podcast. Like,
no, but what I'm saying is,
turn it around.
But what I'm saying is, you never know. Like, you gotta treat every day
Enjoy
like it's
life.
your last, and enjoy life.
You know what? You take the good, you take the bad, you take it all.
Take
then
it
you have
all,
so
and there you
Auntieways.
have, yes.
Hello.
Auntieways.